Hi YouTube, it's that time of the month when I'm putting up my empties video and my favourites video of the makeup items, well, whatever items really, I've been using a lot in the last month. And I do try not to talk too much about items that aren't available, because what's the point in telling people about great items if they actually can't get hold of them? But I am going to have to say sorry. A couple of the items I'm going to talk about that I've been using non-stop really in the last month are difficult to find. And obviously the big one is the Ford Nude Dip. I know it's a really popular topic on YouTube because my video when I actually hauled it and compared it with a couple of other Tom Ford palettes that I already had is easily the most watched of the videos I've ever done. Not that that's huge numbers, but I know that people were interested in this palette. I said how much I liked it when I first bought it. Mine is looking a bit mucky on the outside, but inside still pretty pristine. I have used it a lot, several times a week, every week. I haven't used the Tom Ford brushes, and you can see that I haven't really made any impression on the little TFs. You can see that I have been using it wet as well as dry, particularly these two colours. I really, really like them. Now, I know there's a kind of division in thought about this Tom Ford Nude palette. A lot of people really, really like it, and obviously it's sold out in most, if not all, stores, certainly here in the UK, and you have to pay a premium to get it on eBay now, I'm afraid. But I have read read a few blogs and certainly watched a few videos where people, particularly people who are either semi-professional makeup artists or really quite experienced YouTubers or bloggers, say that they don't really think it's worth the money and are not that keen because they don't view it as a very versatile palette, particularly because there are no matte colours in it. I have to say, maybe it's the haphazard way I do my makeup, that I really don't find it an unversatile palette. I find that there is everything in here for me to do my basic eye look. And as I say, maybe that's because I'm not a great makeup artist, but the lack of a matte colour and the palette generally don't cause me any problems. I actually find it a really good palette to do a complete eye. So, I'm sorry to talk about it again when you can't get it without paying an arm and a leg for it, but it is far and away my favourite palette this month. I have also been using this one, which sadly is also sold out in MAC. It was the Pedro Lourenco special limited edition range earlier this year. Again, quite a neutral palette. You can of course get two of the colours, Sable and All That Glitters, because they're in the permanent range, but I actually like particularly this very neutral, quite matte nudie pink colour that I have been using quite a lot when I want a really neutral eye. So that's been one of my other favourite eyeshadow looks. I've been using a lot the Illusion d'Ombre as a base for those colours, or quickly on its own when I'm in a rush. And the one I've been turning to is the one from the spring release, Diapason, which I think you still can get in certainly some regional stores. I've seen it. I haven't looked whether it's still online. I've used it quite a lot, but you can see barely made a dent in it. But this iridescent plummy colour, really, really good for this time of year. So I'm really enjoying using that. And with it for quite a simple look, because you get so much definition and texture with the Illusion d'Ombre. You don't really need anything else, I don't think, although you can obviously use shadows and other Illusion d'Ombre to build up the look. I've been using their waterproof stylo in Purple Berry. Again, I'm not sure if you can still get this, but I really do like the stylos. They're not all absolutely perfect. Some of them are quite dry and a tiny bit draggy to put on. But once you put them on, they really stay put. There's absolutely no bleeding, and I have quite sensitive, watery eyes, so I really appreciate that with the Chanel waterproof eyeliners. I like them much better than the pencil. And this, as you know, is my Holy Grail mascara, Le Volume. And this one is one that I've just started, and it's in, I don't know if you can see that, beautiful plum shade. They just seem to have numbers rather than names. This is 30. What else have I been loving? The plum lipsticks are all about plum this month. One limited edition is the Pedro Lourenco, and that's actually a more winey colour than plum. Looks quite scary there. I like to kind of pat it on a bit. I think that's an amplified. You can't get that, but you can get these two. Oh no, sorry, you can't get that one. You can get this one. Plumful is part of the permanent range, and this is a luster. I bought it last year and used it quite a lot. So it looks quite plummy in the bullet, but like a lot of the lusters, goes on a little more gently. Very, very pretty, and not so daring that you can't wear it with a smoky eye, but also, you know, gives a nice splash of colour. And this one is also another luster, Heavenly Hybrids, which was from the spring edition. Again, looks very pink plum in the bullet, but goes on a bit more pinky, but a nice kind of blue tinted pink for this time of year. So I've been wearing those almost constantly. I've been getting out as my contour the Les Beiges in 30 from Chanel, still available. I don't use these as a finishing powder. I use them as contours, and this, I'm making quite a dent in it. I find easier to use than the cream Le Bronze de Chanel, although I like that too. And it's just nice and not too muddy for quite fair complexions like me. So I've been using that again. I've been using the Innocence blush from Chanel's autumn range. I think that's still available in some stores. Just a really nice bluey pink, very soft. This is the American edition. I bought it in America, but I think they released the same formulation rather than the baked European over here as well. I'm not sure about that, but I do like the softer, more powdery American version of the blushes, although I know a lot of people prefer the baked European. Now, sometimes it's nice to eat my words, and I'm going to do that about the Hourglass Ambient blush in Mood Exposure, because I did a slightly negative video about these when I first reviewed, particularly Dim Infusion, I think it's called, which was the one I used a lot when I first got it in the spring, summer. And I found, although it was a very pretty effect, it wore off really, really quickly. I didn't think it was a very impressive product. However, I have been giving this one a bit of a try now that it's autumn and I want a more muted colour. So Mood Exposure gives a nice kind of neutral, glowy blush. And I have found this one lasts better on me than the other one did. So I am quite enjoying that. And then finally, a nail polish. This is the Tom Ford Black Cherry. I think this is still available. This is part of the limited edition autumn range, but unlike the Nude Dip, hasn't sold out everywhere. It's a very, very dark wine red, almost black. It's not what I'm wearing on my nails at the moment, obviously. That's a Burberry, in fact. what I want to say about this is it's an amazing formulation. I like dark vampy colours. Obviously, you're not going to like this colour if you don't go for that sort of nail, but I love them. I had this applied the first time I wore it by my manicurist, admittedly with a base coat and 2 coats and a top coat, and it wore for 10 days. 10 days. There was some tip wear and it was coming away from the cuticle by that time because of nail growth. But it was probably the longest single wear I've ever got from a nail polish. I mean, generally, my Chanel is wearing off after 4 to 5 days as tip wear. Tom Ford, I have generally found, is slightly better, but usually 5 to 6 days. And, you know, to be fair, this was only looking pristine for the first week, but it was wearable for 10 days. Amazing. Now, I have applied it myself and not got quite as good a wear out of it, but still, it's a really good formulation, and it looks incredibly glossy too, even if you don't wear a top coat. So, thoroughly recommend that if you like the vampy shades. So, those are my favourites for September. Not terribly original, not astonishing new products, but I really, really rate all of them. See you soon. Bye for now.